Community School District. It is the mission of the Solon Community School District to engage each and every student in rigorous and relevant learning experiences, maximizing achievement through exceptional teaching. Chris, can you call the roll?
Wolf. Here. Coons.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Student Representative Ben Campman.
Here.
Absent are Huska and Rockles.
We'll note for the record that Ben is the only one who has his name tag facing the board secretary in a way that can be read appropriately. So welcome. If anybody's online, welcome. Celebrations of achievement. Davis.
Oh, just congratulations to Jameson Grimm and Ashley Hummel. They are part of our FBLA organization. They traveled out to Georgia and for the nationals, which they qualified through our state event and placed well, placing 5th in sales presentation. So congratulations to those two.
Very nice. Do we know any idea on how archery did at nationals?
Have not heard yet.
Okay. Once people are back in school, we'll know more. So we'll probably know more next month. Focus on learning. EVAAS pilot.
Yeah, EVAS. We're part of the EVAS pilot. EVAS through the Iowa Department of Education. Last year, I believe the Department of Ed was trying to find a tool to use to measure learning loss from pandemic.
Yep.
So they contracted this last year into this year, and I'm hoping another year. Unfortunately, the tool itself only uses ISAS data. I provided feedback. I'd like to see if we could pull other data in, because it's not just about achievement, but or proficiency, but growth. A lot of what I went to a training last Wednesday in Des Moines and spent all day in a closed room with no windows, which is always fun. But learned about this tool. It's a tool that's used in a lot of different areas and school districts and other states. The state wanted to try this out, get some feedback in regards to whether or not this might be something we want to use. As we've talked as a district, we really want to measure growth, and that's what this tool does. I mean, it talks a little bit about proficiency, but it's mainly about growth for students who might be on the struggling end of proficiency all the way to kids who are highly proficient. What's their growth look like? So I texted Davis that day. I said, this is a really solid tool. I just hope they hang on to it and we can add more pieces, because I think it would really help some of the things that we're focused on as a district. So something we're going to use or take a look more closely at this school year, with the hope that the Department of Ed continues to use it. So
Any questions?
No, just if we're gonna measure growth and we have a tool to measure it, it's easy. If that's the only thing.
It'll be at our fingertips to track a student from 3rd grade to 8th grade and each year growth and what track they followed and
And it included the ISAS data from 2019. Obviously 20 was not there, 21, 22, and they're getting ready to load this last spring's data in there. That's what I really wanted to see. They didn't have that in there yet, but we were able to play with the data.
How do we I know we talk a lot about growth at the lower levels, but how do we at the high school, once we get to 7th and 8th grade, kids start going off on their different paths, and then they get to high school, and how are we?
The only way we can measure growth is through ISAS all the way through 11th grade.
Okay.
There's not much, we don't have any other standardized tests to do that. And then with NWA getting MAP test K8 now, we'll be able to measure more closely, like with math for sure, but we have our benchmark data that we use. So at that level, but yeah.
Admin report, new teacher orientation.
Just wanted to touch base, this month we have 12 new teachers to the district. Beginning of July, we had 7 of the 12 come in and get their computers, keys, ID badge, all that, to get them just off and running into their classrooms. Without much expectation, and then the rest came, 2 weeks later, the last 5, actually this week came and got all that information. We used to wait until August for the new teacher orientation days. But there was some feedback that those teachers want to get into their classrooms and get prepared, so that was an adjustment we made the last few years. And it's been really successful, gets them an opportunity to get in the district, ask questions, get to know some of us a little bit, and then just get off and running in their classrooms and get access to their email, which is really important because a lot of messages will start to come through. Then in August 14th and 15th, we'll launch with them that week with new teacher orientation for a couple days, and not try to open the fire hose too much on them, but it's
Which
there's a lot of information.
Which days are those?
Monday, August 14th, and Tuesday, August 15th.
And then through teacher quality funds, we worked with the teacher committee, and we're actually adding a full day. And we'll use that money to pay every teacher their per diem daily rate, which will give us another day prior to school starting for prep and some refreshing PD and things like that. So.
Okay.
Super report.
Yep, superintendent.
Just
report.
real quickly, Pat, I believe she sent maybe an RFP out information, or she will be
Yep.
shortly. We're gonna be, our 3 years will be up with our auditor. So every 3 years we send out an RFP. The last time we sent one out, we sent it out to 5 or 6 different firms, which same thing. We received one back last year. Yeah. So, but we're gonna send it out again. We'll see what that brings in. That'll be on August board meeting.
Yeah, and that's been better. I don't remember.
Kay has been, and she has been great to work with.
Yes.
Great to work with.
I knew who we had before, we never get it on time. and-
Yeah. Yeah.
Special board meetings to meet the deadline because they sent it to us.
Yeah. Just quick update on transportation. We going through the software, we've been able to go to 10 routes. We've been at 9 since I've been here. We're going to 10, which will put kids on bus for a shorter time and fewer kids on each bus. We've been able to do that because we can fill 10 routes now. We've trained, just recently, we got 3 drivers trained. 2 of those are coaches. So Cusick and Williams now can drive their teams now, which will help scheduling.
Who's that?
Cusick and Williams.
Okay.
And then we've got and we trained just recently a gentleman that's retired that will take a daily route for us, give us that 10th route, and along with a recent graduate, Michael Brohammer, he goes to his training a week from Monday.
How long is it training?
There's a classroom portion that is online, thankfully. Now Kirkwood puts it online for you. That takes about probably 12 to 15 hours. And then the training is 4 days. Yeah.
And that's just, I mean, what if you
On
came in, like me, I have no CDL, I have nothing.
Yep. All you got to do is pass those 4 tests. And then Kirkwood will send you the online, and you do 4 days of training. Now, what it's 5 days, but we've shortened that down a little bit because Kirkwood is allowing us to take those people in the training and just drive here.
Gotcha.
They'll count the hours. We'll say, hey, Lee spent 4 hours behind the wheel with us.
Gotcha.
They'll count those hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And then I may follow up with you. And then we hired a student, Eve Henners, to just go detail all of our buses. And she has been a home run. I told her the other day, I didn't know we had that actual yellow existed, that tint. I mean, I saw her the other day and she had on a pole a squeegee doing each window from the outside. And then she goes into, she does it all, and they look great inside and out. So we'll start the year. Every driver will slip into the cleanest bus they've seen since it's rolled off the factory floor.
So on that front, I know we talked last year about one of the complaints the drivers had was that after activity routes. The buses were not always were not always clean, and so there's a bunch of effort to go after that. I know we talked last year about talking to our folks who are using the bus and having a charge for having like Eve go through, because we wanted to avoid that was a frustration for the bus drivers. It's one reason we want to have somebody on board, but
Sure.
charging them, if it requires more than a cursory glance through, you're going to, just to encourage them to take their McDonald's bags or whatever it is off the bus, so that we don't have people cleaning up after them.
And
on
we,
those road trips.
we're still staying on that
Okay.
and sending out those reminders and the vans were in a 10-week period from May through now, we did 332 trips
Yeah,
with vans, buses and all that such. And they said the vans, the coaches have been good about those
Okay.
vans this summer. So
I know you said it was just,
Yeah.
you thought just a reminder, because it's just, everyone's tired when they get
It's a
back
res-
and they're not really thinking about it, and just reminding everybody when you get up, take your trash with you and.
Discharge the program.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Comes out of football money.
Yep.
Color guard money comes out of whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pretty soon, everybody doesn't have that money if you start wasting on that stuff.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Board committee updates, the only thing I know of, Dan, is apparently in addition to the public policies we've been talking about, there's some updates from the state on new policies that have been updated based on the end of the legislative session that probably should need to have a first reading before the school year starts to bring us back in compliance. So Chris has already pulled those, and we'll be getting an email after today's meeting with our new reading assignments. So there'll be some more policies for next month.
We wrapped up the final tweaks to the intermediate edition. We put in the feedback that we got from the teachers and the staff at the end of the year. The plan right now is to have those documents for the board by Monday, the 14th, for board approval on the 17th. Those go out to bid in September. So.
It's all timeline. We had talked before, turf like maybe November, but they're not sure it'd be done in time for graduation is kind of what I would imagine by what I saw.
Weather, glue, all that stuff. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so we'll try and get it done right after graduation.
yep.
And how long do they think it'll take?
6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 months.
Yeah.
So,
So, yep.
Yeah, so. It'll be after graduation, but technically, I guess we still have to wait for soccer to finish, right?
Should,
It's roughly that same time.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then winning edge will have to be moved.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, yeah.
things to think about. right?
Got a year to, yeah.
Okay. Consent agenda. Anything you need to pull off? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion by Coons, second by Wolf. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Action items. We're going to purchase some buses. Davis?
Yeah, you bet. So, we have 2 brand new Thomas buses that will be already approved. We're just waiting for them to get finished in the factory. Probably such a delay, November, December, when those will actually be delivered. We are purchasing 3 used buses coming off lease. They'll have about 30 to 35,000 miles on it. They're 2021s, and we're getting them for 65,000 a piece from West Harrison. Last year, we actually purchased one of their buses for $8,000, and we've had it on a route this whole year. So the hope is by January, we've got 6 buses that are 15 years or older. We'll auction them off. We'll get rid of them. And these buses, so we'll have 5 buses that are 21 or newer. Really upgrading our fleet.
And
So-
what do we think the current buses are worth? I know at one point we said, by the time we generally get to their end of their useful life.
I think we can probably get 10 to 15 if we trade them. Some we're getting $3,000 for a trade, and then a couple of them that's like, no, we don't even want it as a trade. So on the market, we're looking, we probably get 10 to 15 for each of those buses. then I want to buy more vans.
Is this?
Yes.
It's a month.
And what we did was we had set aside in the Pebble budget to buy 2 of them. Superintendent called me and said, hey, we're gonna go ahead and release a 3rd one too, if you're interested. And so we had on the docket budgeted to buy 2 new vans, and I just swapped that out. This bus will be, we're set really good right now with vans. Yeah.
So 195,000 for the 3 buses.
Move to approve the purchase of the 2021 International Company buses from West Harrison for $195,000.
Motion by Coons, second by Wolf. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Second reading of board policy 210.9. This is to update our regular meeting to reflect what we're actually doing, which is always good to have policy match what we're actually doing. And then also it adds the Pledge of Allegiance in, so we'll kind of align with what we're asking students to do. So we'll start those school board meetings with Pledge of Allegiance, which many of the districts in Iowa do. We just have, it's not been our practice, and so it hasn't happened, but it's been brought up a couple of times, and so since we're updating this, we push forward with that as well. This is second reading. Any thoughts, concerns? Hearing none. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to, go ahead.
Motion to approve the second reading of
210.1 or 210.9.
motion to approve the second reading of board policy 210.9 regular board meetings.
Motion by Wolf, second by Coons. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed. Motion carries unanimously. First reading of board policies 101.1 and 101.2, our mission and vision statement.
This was part of that strategic plan work that we've been working on for about 1.5 years with stakeholders.
So we'll get Ben's thoughts on them because, you know, I think we've all seen them before. I don't know, Ben, if you were here the night that the administration reported or not. So as a student, do those sound, you know, how do they sound to you as a student? Do those resonate as the mission and the vision? What should be our mission and vision?
I think those are good.
Okay. So the mission, yep. Engage each and every student an opportunity to learn, lead, and grow. The vision statement: every student graduates prepared for success. They'll be easier to remember than our current ones. And they're not
shorter meeting.
They are tongue twisters like the current one is.
Couple minutes, you read that.
That's right. I could probably read both of them in the time it takes me to read one of them right now. And so I think that we appreciate the administrative team working with the stakeholders to kind of revise those. And so I think that's a valuable exercise. You know, we should go through that every 5 years. And I think the time was well worth it. I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the first reading of board policies 101.1, the vision statement, and 101.2 mission statement.
Second.
Motion by Wolf, second by Haluska. Any discussion? I'm going to. Second by Coons. For those of you who are watching this on video and tape, Mr. Coons has decided to sit behind Mr. Haluska's sign and cause me problems. At least he didn't sit behind Mr. Campman's sign. That's way better. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries unanimously. Resolution for the FY24 depositories. This is our every year, where we authorize limits to how much we can deposit in each of the potential banks we might use. We do not have that much money. In case you were wondering, we do not have $35 million to scatter across all these different banks. Just to be clear. So. And you can, these are the same ones as last year, if I remember correctly.
Move to approve the resolution naming the depositories.
Second,
Moved by Coon, second by Wolf. Any
Roll
further?
call.
Roll call vote.
Wolf,
yes.
Coons,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes,
thank you.
that's it for action items. Informational items. If you haven't already responded to the legislative priorities, you've got. Chris would like to have them,
You got mine, Chris, right?
You said I have them, but then you never sent me the numbers.
Oh, I didn't? Okay.
No, but, so just send them when you can.
Okay.
Yeah, we have until next month.
Because I saved them and I just didn't know if it was a document, because all our names are there,
Did you send that document back?
or did
to
you
me?
save it online?
or is it, I didn't know.
It's
if
a
it was-
document.
Just tell me
Hold
the,
on.
just tell me the 4 numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
perfect.
Did we send it to Ben to get his thoughts on
Okay.
what our priorities should
Yes,
be? So.
Sure.
So they give us this long list of things, and it's largely used for the Iowa Association of School Boards to provide advocacy. What is it the districts care the most about? So as we work with the legislators, what do we want? What do we want to make it easier for us to advance the education of our students? And so,
And I'm just quickly, we're ranking them in order to, right?
you know,
Or you just mark it.
you just
mark it five.
you're just marking the 5, and then the only way we have problems is if we all choose the same 5, because we don't get 5 priorities, but we generally do not get that.
Right.
So,
75 or 74?
4, we send in 4.
Okay, I said 5, so.
that is common, that we have a different number of that are sent in by each person. Shocker. But yeah, as a district, we get 4, and so. And you were also, if one of the ones we want is not there, you know, we can add in there. The problem is, it's
Typically not gonna
as,
get
as,
on.
as Jamie will tell us, that people will come up with their priorities and they will push them forward. They stand no chance of being a priority of the Iowa Association of School Boards, although they might make the long list of things that they care about. They will not make the top 4 that they care about. Board learning, we were going to do some very fun and exciting board learning tonight, but then 2 of our 5 board members are not available. And one of our board members, one or more of our board members has to go back up to beef days. And so we are not, I would entertain a motion to table board learning.
So moved.
Motion by Coons, second by Wolf. Board learning is tabled. Talking points. It's slim pickings, Ben. If you want to go first, because since there's
Yeah,
slim
it's gonna
pickings.
get, then the last person's gonna have to make up some stuff.
I am sure that if I was still riding the bus, I'd love to have Brody as my.
Okay, so you want him to cover your ride.
Or at least drive one of your activities.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there we go.
I suggest not losing a football game, a future football game. I will be in a bad mood. You might have to walk. I could see him pulling a Dan Gable and pulling over 5 miles and saying, get out and run. Jamie?
I like the thing that Josh talked about with the growth, the being able to measure growth and not just where they're at. I don't remember the name of it, but I know it has to be into anything. But I like that it can measure growth and that it's measuring the kids' growth that are struggling a little and the kids that are already advanced, that it can measure the growth with them too, so.
Well, I think getting that new teacher orientation early. You know, you're always anxious as either a brand new teacher or a new teacher to a district. Kind of get your, like, this is where I'm gonna be, where's the lunchroom, who's around me, kind of getting set, then getting connected through email. That, so it's not, you're not bombarded with things from Pat on the first day and all these other things that you can take care of, and they can literally hit the ground more as a staff member than a new teacher. So I think that was well given feedback and well taken feedback. So
And for me, we're making good progress on the transportation side of things. We're upgrading a lot of our buses and vans. I think we've got better equipment, which will serve us moving forward. That combined with the new transportation staff to maintain our buses. I'm happy we were able to find a student who is willing to take up the task of keeping them clean, because I think it's great in the summer. It's going to be even more important in the winter. Keeping them clean and salt free will improve their utility for us.
Well, bless you.
Yeah, he actually finished up his licensing, so he has his CDL now, passenger. And when he was up there early on in the training, they were walking through the pre-trip inspection you have to take, and during the inspection, Vince pointed out to the instructors that there was a coolant leak and showed them how to fix it. So,
You get bonus points for that?
yeah,
Okay.
the gold star.
Our next regular board meeting is Thursday, August 17th at 5:30 in this very room. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Wolf, second by Coons. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned.
Look